I just realized that that's the monitors. That's our day on the monitors when we walk into the facility, man. Schedule by schedule. That's fresh right there, down to the minute, man.
7:21.
Hey, we got film study. You got weightlift down. That's fresh right there, man.
Okay, what James was pointing out is quite literally when you walk into an NFL facility during the team meeting, your coach will give you the daily schedule. And the daily schedule will tell you exactly what you got. Down to the minute.
Some weird times.
What we have curated for y'all inside the facility is quite literally the pro-athlete experience. Unfortunately, James just now realized.
Oh, no, they don't have the little bathroom breaks. That's my little thing.
Yeah. We get the commercial breaks.
He ain't got special teams meeting on there. You don't go to the special teams. That's your time to chill.
Hilarious. Let's get back to the Niners because it's actually a huge deal. Team that was in the Super Bowl last year. It looked like there was pure chaos and anarchy in that organization just 72 hours ago, but now it looks stable. 2-5, talk to me first, big dog, because I can't wait to hear your answer. Cannot wait for this one. Niners, is it Super Bowl or bust for them?
Can't be a bust. For the Niners, bang, game? You see Big Trip? You see Big
Trip? Got a dog with him, too.
Hey, real quick, when you watch him walk the locker, you like, woo. CMC's like, woo, they got his back. I'm going to say no, it can't be a bust. The reason why is because one thing with Kyle Shanahan at the head coach is we know that two things in life, right? You got to pay taxes and that the Niners will always have a chance to get to the Super Bowl. That's what it is. I don't care how close they get there. I'm going to say this. So, when you look at the Niners team overall, first of all, they draft really well. Now, nothing's 100%, right? Trey Lance, obviously, that situation.
Of course.
But nothing's 100%. They draft really well. And on free agency, they make some good moves, like Trent. I'll take you back, though, right? 2019, Jimmy G, we all know how bad he is. He's real bad. And they went to the Super Bowl. I was with the Chiefs 2019. We played them. And you look at the team, it's the same model. Kyle Shanahan is that good where they ran the ball extremely well. Through that playoff run, I want to say Jimmy G had probably, I don't know, like 400 yards. That's really nothing. Mostert, what's his first name?
Raheem
Mostert. Okay. From the Dolphins. Anyway, Mostert, he had like 6 yards per carry. So they ran the ball extremely well. There was no Trent Williams. He wasn't there. He was still in Washington. And CMC was still in Carolina, and they still found a way to get there. I can't imagine a time where Kyle Shanahan as a head coach wasn't a good coach. Coordinator wasn't a good coordinator. He's always been top-notch. So when you ask me, is it a bust? It can't be. All they do is win games. The last 5 years, they've been in 2 Super Bowls. And the last 3 years, they went straight 3 times to the conference game.
I like how Shady broke that down because giving a different answer but the exact same logic. I think it's a Super Bowl or bust year for the Niners because they have to get back because of the age of the team. But to Shady's point, as long as Kyle Shanahan is there, I believe that they will get back because they have a chance to get back. When you think about this Niners squad, you got a Super Bowl caliber head coach. You got a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. He was there last year. And you got a Super Bowl caliber roster. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are the only team that has a better offense than the Niners. When you factor in the defense, no team has a better team than the Niners. The Houston Texans might show that they do by the end of the season, depending on Will Anderson's growth, Derek Stingley at cornerback, his growth, depending on how good Stephon Diggs still is, Tank Dell, what he can still do, Mechie, what will he inevitably end up doing, Nico Collins, how will he do? But as it stands right now on September 4th, the Niners have the best roster in football, top to bottom, offense, defense, special teams, and they have a Super Bowl coach. So for me, the Niners, James Jones, they have to find a way to get back.
I agree. They have to get back to the Super Bowl. They are one of the few teams, like I continue to say, that's walking in the building looking like, what up, Ayuk? What up, Purdy? What up, Debo? That's walking in there with an opportunity to get to this game.
I got a question. Pause. What y'all don't realize, maybe not, depending on how often y'all been watching the facility, it's just day 2. James Jones won a Super Bowl with the Packers. The next year went 15-1. I say that to say, James has been a part of a lot of really good teams. You've also been a part of some bad teams. Oakland Raiders, he started 0-10 one year, maybe 2014.
Hey, it's early.
It's early. Here's the reason I say this. You've been a part of 2 locker rooms. What I mean by that, clearly more. You've been a part of 2 locker rooms. The locker room where you walk in and you say, oh, I know we got a chance. And a locker room where you walk in and you say, oh, I know we don't. We're in a facility. We know what you mean. But tell the viewer the difference in that mental state between walking through the walls knowing you can win and walking through the walls knowing you can't. Break that down for the cats.
Yes, it's definitely different because walking into the locker room at the Green Bay Packers, every year I thought, like, we got a chance to get back to the Super Super Bowl. We have a chance to win the Super Bowl. As I'm looking around the locker room, I'm seeing superstar players. Number one, you start with the quarterback. Okay, we legit. We got Aaron Rodgers. Then I'm looking Donald Driver, Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, Randall Cobb, Jermichael Finley. Then I'm going to the defense. You got B.J. Raji, Clay Matthews, Julius Peppers, Charles Woodson. You got all that. So I'm looking like, man, we have a chance to go win the Super Bowl, and at least to get there, right? You're walking in with that confidence. When I was with the Oakland Raiders at the time, I'm walking in there like, we ain't good here. We're not good here. I ain't gonna say player's name. We not really good here. We not really good at my position. I'm coming from a receiver room that top to bottom. We not really good at my position. We don't have a chance to go up against these teams and these teams and these teams. And a lot of teams is gonna walk in there and say they got a chance. It's called false confidence, right? We talking real confidence. And real confidence walking into the building right now is probably a handful of teams that have that opportunity to walk into the building saying that.
Yeah, I mean,
and with that being said, the San Francisco 49ers is one of those teams. This has to be the year you got to get back. With all that being said, Kyle Shanahan back to the NFC Championship, back to the Super Bowl. They have not got it done. So the window is closing. There's a lot of people making a lot of money, not including the quarterback about to get a lot of money. One thing I know about the NFL that stays consistent, change. This team is not going to be the same next year.
But why is the window closing, though? That's my question.
The window's closing because I truly believe they're going to lose some good players. It's going to be some players that's going to say, no, I'm not restructuring. Let me go. The team is going to look different because you got to pay the quarterback.
I heard that, right? But so Brandon, when they went to the Super Bowl the last time, right? Brandon was on the team. CMC went on the team. Brock Purdy went on the team.
Williams wasn't on the team.
Who? Trent Williams. So when you say that, I mean, I hear you.
You're missing something, though.
What am I missing?
Brock Purdy making less than $1 million. So their Super Bowl window, in my opinion, is closing. Brock Purdy, when you go from making $925,000, I think he's making this year, to next year, which he will, and I've heard around the league, he's going to get at least $50 million a year. It completely changes the dynamic on your team. To answer your question, you're the fourth oldest roster in the NFL right now. Your average age is 27. So I don't necessarily think the window's closing, but contractually, like with the money going around, it's going to change. And as far as my answer, Super Bowl or bust, like just like yesterday, you got to define what bust is. Bust to me, everyone's getting fired. All right? That's not happening in San Francisco. If they don't make the Super Bowl, I'll take you back, and I'm glad you brought up your old teams in Green Bay. I'll take you back to 2009. I was a rookie, backing up Mark Brunell and Drew Brees in that New Orleans Saints room. Yes.
Oh, in the same
undrafted. Let's go, bro. And we won a Super Bowl that year. I was mainly the coffee guy in the locker room, the donut guy in the locker room. I was
just coffee guy.
Hey, Drew Brees, you like it straight. Okay, good. Brock Brunell, you like a latte? I got you. Like, you better bring these jelly-filled donuts to the room, or we are not messing with you. So I was just like a fly on the wall. But it was cool to see it because expectations were not really high. And we surprised a lot of people. We started 13-0, lost our next 3 games, and then went on a run in the playoffs, beat Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl, 2009, okay? Man, 2010, we're going to go back. That's so easy. No, bro, we went 10-6 or 9-7. No, we went 10-6. We played on the road Beastquake game. Beastquake game. I was on the sideline for that. That was the craziest game. I'm thinking, oh, man, all right, we're good. 2011. Man, we have one of the best Saints teams of all time. We run into Alex Smith brick wall divisional game. Future is singing in the crowd at the home stadium. Got it popping. And I'm like, man, it just goes to show, like, you are talking about getting to a Super Bowl. It's not easy. There's so many things that go into the situation that you're in. And when I talk about Kyle Shanahan, like, Kyle Shanahan, I don't think we've given enough credit for what he's done specifically in the playoffs. He's 8-4 in the playoffs. Only Andy Reid has more wins since the playoffs, since Shanahan became the coach. So that's it. So it's Andy Reid and then Shanahan.
So really quick, with all that being said, because you're telling us how hard it is and all that to get back to the Super Bowl, but you're saying
I like your questions.
It's not. You saying this season wouldn't be a bust if they don't get back?
No.
How not? How not?
Because you got to define bust. What's bust to me is everyone's getting fired.
Bust for the San Francisco 49ers. Ain't nobody getting fired. But bust for the San Francisco 49ers. If you don't get to the Super Bowl, it's a failure.
If you're asking that, yes, it's a fail. Bust, in my opinion, yeah.
But so you say all that and give him credit, but then you say, oh, well, the window's closed. I don't understand. Because Kyle Shanahan, he's going to win. You keep talking about the guys saying, oh, he's going to replace some dudes like he did before.
So
you get what I'm saying? Like Andy Reid, right?
He won with Jimmy, and he can win with anyone else.
That's what I'm saying. So when you saying it's closing how, they're always going to have a chance to compete for a championship. Because Kyle Shanahan is that good.
I think what he's saying is
the last thing, and then with the Saints, I get that, but I like Sean Payton. I don't think he develops a team like Kyle does. Look at Kyle's team. Look at him. Now, back then, he's going to win. He's going to get players.
So you think so you think the success of the 49ers specifically hinges on Kyle Shanahan and the scheme he's running?
What you think? You watch it?
Huh?
CMC's a great running back. He's the number 1 running back in the league right now. So before they had him, they still was running the ball well. It's just that he's so talented that he makes it look even better.
What about Debo? What about Ayuk? What about Trent Williams? What about Kittle? What about Purdy? They got some good players, too.
I hear what you're saying, but before them guys, they still was winning games. What I'm saying.
Understood.
When I was with the Chiefs, we played the Niners in the Super Bowl 2019. The whole game plan was this. We're going to put points up on offense because we are that good on the Chiefs. But on defense, like, yo, let's get the third down.
Yeah.
Find a way to get the third down. Hold up. You played for the Packers when I played the Niners. They didn't throw the ball. What they do? They ran the ball with 3 running backs. Jimmy G was the quarterback. Trash. Weak. Terrible. But they still find a way to get there. So when you tell me the window's closing, how? Because I've seen this coach do it over and over again.
And I agree with that. But how many years we going to keep saying this? Like 3 years from now when Kyle Shanahan, let's say he don't have a Super Bowl, because he don't got one right now. We're talking about him with Sean McVay like he has one. He doesn't have one. With all these good rosters and all these good players and to the NFC Championship Super Bowl, he doesn't have one. So are we going to be sitting here 3 years later talking about the window still wide open because Kyle Shanahan going to replace these players? They got to win that thing.
I agree with that. I agree with everything you say up until saying the window's closing, because I'm with Shady in the fact of I think Kyle Shanahan is like Andy Reid during his tenure with the Philadelphia Eagles. So long as Andy Reid was present with the Philadelphia Eagles, the Eagles always had a chance. Now, the dilemma was you had James Thrash instead of having Tyreek Hill. You know, you had Donovan McNabb instead of having Patrick Mahomes. You know, you had Todd Pinkston instead of having Travis Kelce. You know, you had dilemmas, if you will. But so long as Andy Reid was there, I think the Eagles always had a chance.
Andy Reid
as long as Shanahan there
Super Bowl
in Philly, of course not. But you knew as long as Andy was there, he was going to have a puncher's chance. He was going to have a fighter's chance. So I don't know if that window will ever close. But we got to transition to the opponent of the San Francisco 49ers.
Everybody window open.
No.
Now, if you got Shanahan, bro.
Come on, man.
Shanahan.
He don't count conference games and Super Bowls. He don't count that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't count the same coaches going to a conference game and a Super Bowl compared to like a guy like your coach, Mike McCarthy. I don't compare them to the same boat.
Shanahan is 0-3 in the Super Bowl, though.
Who?
Shanahan.
But
0-3. That's a big deal, though.
I know, but he's getting there, though.
Yeah.
How many coaches are not getting there? They're not even getting there. They haven't seen it. That don't matter. See, we play ball. You know how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl. Forget winning it, though. Yeah. Let's just get there. Is that not hard to do?
It's very hard.
How about even
some luck involved, too, honestly.
I don't know about luck. I just know. I don't know what luck is. I just know these coaches, if it's 32 coaches, right? Dudes getting fired, all that type of stuff. Changing the players. This dude always finds a way to get there. Yeah. Am I tripping?
Not tripping.
But all I'm saying, like with your guys' logic, so you basically saying the window for the Baltimore Ravens is wide open because the coach is there?
It's not the same.
I'm just saying,
I believe that Kyle Shanahan is the second or third, if you want to put McVay ahead of him. Yeah. I believe he is the second or third best coach in football. That to me is the difference.
That's cool, though. All that's cool, but it's not equaling the Super Bowl.
It's not.
So
what it's equaling to is 2 Super Bowl appearances in 5 years. So outside of the Kansas City Chiefs, the San Francisco 49ers are the most consistent organization in the NFL. So long as you're in the Super Bowl, at least you got a shot. Now, Patrick Mahomes exists. So, Patrick, you either got to find a way to take Pat out of the game literally or figuratively speaking. But as long as you in the Super Bowl. Now, fascinatingly enough, I got the pleasure of Shady went 2-0 in Super Bowls, Chase went 1-0 in Super Bowls, and you went 1-0 in Super Bowls. Yeah. So y'all all went and won and never lost, whether you were starting, whether you was practice squad, whether you was active, whether you was catching. But for the Niners, James, if you there,
can I? And let me ask you just one question. Before the season starts, it's 32 teams, right? How many teams can say, "Yo, we going back to the conference game. Yo, we going to Super Bowl this year"? How many teams can say that?
2 or 3.
Because I've been on teams like, "Yo, we going this year," and I know in the back of my head, yeah, we ain't going.
Realistically per conference.
Okay, so my thing is, and out of them 3, let's say out of them 3. Whoa, out of them 3.
I'm gonna help you though. I'm gonna help you.
Who is it? The Chiefs?
No, I'm gonna help you because I had a graphic. I don't want no help. I knew this question was coming, so I had a graphic. You got it, Coleman. We say it a lot. These are the teams that I feel like is walking into the building right now saying we have a shot to go to the Super Bowl.
The Jets.
These is the teams right here.
I
Realistic, though. Be realistic, though.
Realistically, it's about 9 teams from roster-wise, talent-wise in the NFL right now that can walk in there.
What about actually going? Or how about this? What about actually going out there doing it? I don't want like this belief and faith thing.
This is where it was going.
What about actually? Yo, we can really go because we actually went. It's only what 2-3 teams.
Who would you take off that list? 2-5. Hold on. Let me hear from Shady. Shady, who you removing from that list?
Packers, like first.
Oh my goodness.
Jets.
Oh my goodness.
Ravens and Texans, right?
So y'all.
Because you thinking of hear me out. You thinking about the talent and the players, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's one point. I get that part. I'm talking about actually going there and doing it. The Eagles, we've been there a couple years ago. We can go back. Who else is on that list? The Niners.
Niners.
We go every other year to the conference game, so we got a chance. We're one game away from Super Bowl. The Chiefs, you know what that is.
So you say,
hold up, the Bengals. We actually did this. We went to a conference game and we went to Super Bowl. We actually seen what it looks like. You talk about teams that got good players, we might do it.
So you basically saying what you done in the past, right? That's outweighing everything, or the roster-wise and all that this season.
It's
no
equity.
predictor for the future.
It's equity. Yeah, exactly. I think it's some equity. It's some equity.
That don't matter. You don't think that matters?
I think number one, I think every season is different.
It matters in the locker room.
I think it's a handful of teams every season that have a chance to go compete.
James, let me ask you about one team on that list. Got to transition this conversation quickly. The Jets. You had the Jets on that list. The Niners, they actually play the Jets Monday night. Whole world will be watching. I surmise roughly 30 million people will probably be watching that game. Is it a Super Bowl or bust? Again, strikingly enough, you have the Jets as one of your teams. Super Bowl or bust for the Jets?
Yeah, I believe this is one of, if not the best team that Aaron Rodgers has been a part of from top to bottom. When you talk about what they have on defense, when you talk about the pieces they have on offense, 2 really good receivers in Mike Williams and Garrett Wilson. You got a really good running back in Breece Hall. You upgraded the offensive line. We all know what the defense is and the playmakers they have on the defense. I believe this team is complete from top to bottom. When Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, I believe they have a shot. The Jets, Aaron Rodgers has nothing else to prove in the regular season. It's about getting to a Super Bowl. They have the roster to do that. Aaron Rodgers has the ability right now to go into some of these games and really not have to be special Aaron Rodgers, and they still could find a way to win games. This is a complete football team. They are one of the teams that's walking into the locker room right now with the opportunity to say, man, we can get to this game. I don't know about winning, but we can get to this game.
So I believe it is without a doubt a Super Bowl year or bust. And it's an all-in season for Aaron Rodgers, Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas even, right? They're going to get fired. Okay, you're missing.
I get where you're going.
You're missing the most important piece of the entire season for the New York Jets, Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett, I have to wonder, has he lost his fastball?
Offensive coordinator.
Has offensive coordinator for the Jets. Early in the offseason, let's not forget this. Early in the offseason, Robert Saleh talked about bringing in another play caller, not named Nathaniel Hackett. Okay, so at the end of the day, Robert Saleh has done everything he can to build that defense and to build that locker room. It's going to come down to how Nathaniel Hackett and Aaron Rodgers run that offense. They're stacked on defense. They always have been. The fact that Robert Saleh was able to muster up 7 wins last year without Aaron Rodgers, there's been a lot of fanfare, but I just think it's the beginning of the end a little bit for the New York Jets.
I agree with that take wholeheartedly. I think it's now just bust. With this Hassan Reddick news, obviously Shady knows Hassan Reddick well, former Philadelphia Eagle, 10 sacks the last 3 years, 10 sacks the last 4 years if you include other teams. The only player not named Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year last year, with 4 consecutive seasons, 10-plus sacks. Hassan Reddick is still holding out. Yeah. That isn't a small deal. It's a gigantic deal. Shady just uttered 5 minutes ago that the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. They've been there. They have that confidence. Well, they went to the Super Bowl in large part, or some might argue in exclusivity, because Hassan Reddick against the San Francisco 49ers tore Brock Purdy's UCL. Brock Purdy was out that game. The Niners had no quarterback. Eagles go to the Super Bowl. That happened.
That was wild.
Jets have no Hassan Reddick. Yeah. So while the Jets have a great defense, don't think they have a Super Bowl defense, there's a difference between great, elite, and Super Bowl. We saw that last year. So as I'm looking at it, I think the Jets will just bust. You made a great point. Nathaniel Hackett. I don't know if Nathaniel Hackett should be the offensive coordinator there. He's there because of Aaron Rodgers. Why in the world would Nathaniel Hackett get an offensive coordinating job after the abysmal performance he put on with the Denver Broncos when Russell Wilson, future Hall of Famer, hopefully more than likely, had his worst year yet? Robert Saleh, I don't know if he should still be a head coach. What has Robert Saleh done to show us he should be a head coach? Be a defensive mind? Sure, he is a phenomenal defensive mind. Head coach, what's he done to prove that? So I think it's just a bust year for the Jets. Until Hassan Reddick shows up and walks through those doors, I'm saying bust, 2-5.
Expectations are so high for the Jets. God. Super Bowl bust. I can't even. I'm just gonna say no, right? Because the Jets is like they haven't been to the playoffs since I've been like what, 22 years old or something like that. I mean, I've been a kid.
It's been a while.
13 years ago. 13-year streak.
I just think let's just get to the playoffs and see what happens there. I do think they can win that division because of the talent they have in the room. And it goes back to the last conference we talked about. It's like, why would I say Super Bowl? Because the players that's in the locker room got helmets tied up and they're ready to play? No. I need to see you actually go out there and do it. How y'all look? I don't know what y'all look like. Your best quarterback that we keep talking about for all these years, so great. He's played, 4 plays last year? And the year before that, he looked regular, double R. So when you ask me these questions, I can't say Super Bowl or bust. Let's just get to the playoffs and see what happens.
Unfortunately, I agree with that sentiment. Like, I don't want to because Aaron Rodgers, I want to see the Jets win a Super Bowl. Would be great for TV, would be great for y'all, whether you're a Jets fan or not. Would be great for Rodgers, would be great for the history of the National Football League. But I'm with Shady. Until I see some wins, some dubs,
argue it. They got good running backs.
Got
It's always nice.
They got a great roster.
Quarterback, defense.
It comes down to Hackett.
The playoffs and they lose.
Oh, of course.
Everybody gone.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.